Tarot Tides. Chapter 1. Dr. Isabella Reynolds was accustomed to the cacophony of the city, where the urban landscape of steel and glass stood as both guardian and tormentor. Her life had revolved around a seemingly endless procession of patients, their stories of despair and longing becoming the backdrop to her own existence. She was, after all, a renowned psychiatrist, a beacon of solace for the mentally troubled. But her own demons, forged in the crucible of a traumatic event, loomed like silent shadows in the corners of her mind. Each day, as she entered her office in the heart of the bustling city, she donned her professional armor, a mask of empathy and understanding. Her reputation for unraveling the complexities of the human psyche, her ability to peer into the darkest recesses of the mind, had made her a sought-after therapist. Yet, even amidst the admiration and gratitude of her patients, she could not escape the relentless echoes of her own past. The event that had scarred her soul occurred late one autumn night in a dimly lit alley, far from the sterile confines of her office. It was an encounter that no amount of training or therapy could have prepared her for. It left her with haunting visions and a gnawing sense of vulnerability that no degree could erase. The city's ceaseless motion, its relentless energy, only magnified the aftershocks of that night. The decision to take a vacation had been a reluctant one, like a bittersweet elixir administered to a weary traveler. Isabella needed respite, a sanctuary away from the city's relentless pulse, where she could escape the specters of her past. It was during a sleepless night, in the midst of yet another therapist's paradox, that she had stumbled upon a brochure for Mystic Shores. The picturesque coastal town promised tranquility, an escape from the labyrinthine corridors of human despair that had defined her life. It was a place where the sea whispered ancient secrets and the sand held the promise of a quiet, restorative solitude. Isabella longed for a refuge, an opportunity to confront her own inner turmoil by immersing herself in the natural beauty of the world. As the plane touched down on the nearby coastal airstrip, Isabella felt a peculiar mixture of excitement and trepidation. The sea breeze, infused with the scent of brine and freedom, caressed her face as she descended the aircraft's steps. The azure expanse of the ocean stretched out before her, a vast canvas of mystery and potential. Mystic Shores was a town of quaint charm, its streets winding in cobblestone, as though it had been plucked from the annals of history. Old buildings with ivy-covered facades stood as silent sentinels to a time long past. As Isabella strolled through the streets, she felt a peculiar sense of déjà vu, as if the town had been waiting for her, harboring its own secrets and mysteries. She had chosen to stay at the Ocean's Embrace, an inn with a reputation for its serenity and breathtaking views of the sea. The inn's proprietor, a weathered woman named Eliza, greeted her with a warm smile and a key to a room that overlooked the sea. Isabella's quarters were adorned with nautical relics and paintings of ships lost to time, a testimony to the town's deep connection with the ocean. Each morning, she would wake to the soothing lullaby of the waves, their rhythms mingling with her dreams and wrapping her in a comforting embrace. The endless horizon seemed to hold answers, or perhaps the permission to let go of questions, if only for a while. Days turned into weeks, and Isabella reveled in the town's simplicity. She took long walks along the shoreline, collecting sea glass and shells as if they were fragments of her own shattered self. She marveled at the sunsets that painted the sky in hues she had never seen in the city, fiery oranges, deep purples, and melancholic blues. Mystic Shores seemed to offer healing in its very air. Isabella found herself drawn to the town's library, where dusty volumes whispered tales of ancient lore and long-forgotten myths. She immersed herself in the words of philosophers and poets, searching for meaning and solace in their verses. One evening, while wandering through the library's aisles, she chanced upon a weathered leather-bound book, its cover adorned with an intricate tarot card design. It was a book on symbolism, one that delved into the psychological depths of the human mind, much like the tarot cards themselves. The coincidence sent a shiver down her spine, and she couldn't help but feel that the universe had guided her to this particular discovery. As she delved into the book's pages, Isabella found herself drawn to the ancient symbolism of the tarot, its intricate patterns mirroring the complexity of the human psyche. It was as if the cards held a key to understanding not just the minds of her patients but also her own. She began to draw tarot cards daily, seeking guidance and introspection in their enigmatic messages. Yet, as she deepened her connection to the tarot, Isabella couldn't shake the feeling that something peculiar was afoot in Mystic Shores. The townsfolk, though friendly, carried an air of quiet mystery, as if they held their own secrets beneath their smiles. And as she ventured deeper into the exploration of her own psyche through the tarot, she couldn't help but wonder if the ancient symbols held a darker significance, one that was entwined with the town itself. The chill of an approaching autumn night ruffled the pages of the tarot book, casting eerie shadows in the dimly lit library. Isabella's pursuit of solace in Mystic Shores had led her down a path of introspection and curiosity, and she was beginning to suspect that her vacation held more profound mysteries than she could have ever imagined. Chapter 2. Isabella stood at the edge of a dilapidated alley, her heart pounding in her chest as she gazed down at the gruesome tableau before her. The moonlight cast long, eerie shadows that seemed to dance around the lifeless bodies, adding to the otherworldly aura of the scene. She had stumbled upon the third murder in as many weeks, and the connection between them was becoming impossible to ignore. The victim lay on the cold, unforgiving pavement, her eyes wide open in a look of sheer terror frozen in death. Her hands were outstretched, clutching a crumpled tarot card as though it were the key to her salvation. The card, the Hanged Man, depicted a man suspended upside down from a tree, his face etched with resignation. It was a powerful symbol of sacrifice and surrender, but in this context, it took on a more sinister meaning. Isabella had been a psychiatrist for long enough to recognize the signs of trauma, both physical and psychological. But this was something entirely different. These murders were staged, meticulously designed to send a message. And the message was clear: there was a dark force at work, one that was deeply entwined with the symbolism of the tarot. She shivered, the chill of the night seeping into her bones, as she crouched down to get a closer look at the tarot card. It was as though the very essence of the card had seeped into the victim's soul, leaving her suspended in a state of eternal torment. Isabella's fingers brushed against the card, and she felt a jolt of electricity shoot up her arm. The symbolism was undeniable. The Hanged Man represented a state of limbo, of being suspended between the material and the spiritual world. It was a card of sacrifice and surrender, but here, it was a sacrifice of a different kind. A sacrifice of the mind, of the self. Isabella had seen enough. She needed to find out who was behind these macabre murders and put a stop to it before more lives were claimed. But she couldn't do it alone. She needed help, and she had an idea of where to find it. The following day, Isabella sat in a small, dimly lit cafe on the outskirts of town, waiting for her contact. She had managed to track down an investigative journalist who had been digging into the strange occurrences in Mystic Shores. His name was Michael, and he had a reputation for uncovering the truth, no matter how dark or hidden it might be. As she sipped her coffee, Isabella couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. She had a gut feeling that she was stepping into something far more dangerous than she had initially thought. The tarot-based psychological manipulation was just the tip of the iceberg, and the iceberg itself was shrouded in darkness. A doorbell jingled, and Isabella looked up to see Michael enter the cafe. He was a tall, wiry man with a mop of unruly hair and a glint of curiosity in his eyes. He had an air of skepticism about him, but Isabella could see the flicker of intrigue as he approached her table. "Isabella Reynolds, I presume," he said, extending a hand. Isabella nodded, shaking his hand firmly. "That's right. You must be Michael." He took a seat across from her, his eyes never leaving hers. "So, what's this all about? You said it was urgent." Isabella leaned in, her voice barely above a whisper. "I've stumbled upon a series of murders, and I believe they're connected to a secret society that practices tarot-based psychological manipulation. I need your help to uncover the truth." Michael's eyebrows shot up, and he leaned back in his chair, clearly intrigued. "That's quite a story. Are you sure about this?" Isabella nodded. "I've seen the evidence. The tarot cards left at the crime scenes, they're not just a calling card. They're a message that's deeply rooted in the world of the occult." Michael ran a hand through his hair, clearly deep in thought. "I've heard rumors about something strange happening in this town, but I never thought it could be something like this. If what you're saying is true, we're dealing with something far more dangerous than I could have imagined." Isabella leaned closer, her eyes locked on his. "That's why I need your help, Michael. You have the skills and the connections to dig deeper into this mystery. Together, we can expose this secret society and put an end to their reign of terror." He sighed, his gaze unwavering. "All right, Isabella. I'm in. But be warned, this is going to take us down a dark and treacherous path. Are you ready for what we might find?" Isabella met his gaze with a determination that sent shivers down his spine. "I've spent my life delving into the depths of the human psyche, Michael. I'm as ready as I'll ever be." As they left the cafe, the shadows of Mystic Shores seemed to stretch and contort around them, as though the very town itself was harboring its own secrets. Isabella and Michael were about to embark on a journey into the heart of darkness, where the tarot's chilling symbolism held the key to unraveling a mystery that went far beyond their wildest nightmares. Chapter 3. Dr. Isabella Reynolds stood at the edge of the beach, the gentle waves of Mystic Shores lapping at her feet. The sun cast a golden hue on the water, its warmth enveloping her like a comforting embrace. In this tranquil coastal town, it was easy to forget the turmoil of her past, the memories that still haunted her in the darkest corners of her mind. Isabella had come to Mystic Shores in search of solace, a temporary refuge from the relentless ghosts of her work as a psychiatrist. As she gazed out at the horizon, a sense of peace washed over her, but it was a fragile tranquility. The familiar scent of salt and the soothing rhythm of the waves could only provide temporary relief from the demons she sought to escape. Isabella had hoped to find respite from the darkness of her past, but fate had other plans. One evening, while strolling along the shoreline, her eyes were drawn to a tattered tarot card half buried in the sand. The image of the Hierophant, a powerful and enigmatic figure from the ancient tarot deck, stared up at her. It was a stark reminder of the investigation she had been trying to avoid. Isabella's traumatic experiences as a psychiatrist had left deep scars. The last case she had handled had been particularly harrowing, involving a patient who had committed unspeakable acts, and the weight of that memory had crushed her spirit. She had yearned to leave the world of psychological trauma behind and find solace in the simplicity of beach life. The card, however, was an unsettling omen. It rekindled her curiosity and her innate desire to understand the human psyche. She picked up the Hierophant card, its edges worn by time, and stared at the intricate symbolism. She knew that the Hierophant was a symbol of authority, tradition, and wisdom, but in this context, it seemed to be a haunting presence, beckoning her back into the abyss. The discovery led to her reluctance to become entangled in another investigation. Isabella initially hesitated, fearing the return to her traumatic experiences, fearing the darkness that lay beneath the surface of this picturesque town. But the call to adventure was a relentless whisper in her mind. It wasn't long before Isabella's exploration of the tarot symbolism led her to a local library, where she delved into the ancient tomes and texts that chronicled the town's mysterious past. The deeper she delved, the more she uncovered about the secret society operating within Mystic Shores, a group that wielded the power of the tarot to manipulate minds. Her research brought her into contact with a curious figure, Alex Turner, a beachcomber who seemed to possess an uncanny knowledge of the town's secrets. Isabella was simultaneously drawn to and wary of him. He was a riddle, like a card from the tarot deck, and Isabella was unsure if he was an ally or an enigma wrapped in enigma. One evening, as the sun painted the sky with shades of crimson and gold, Isabella decided to meet Alex at a local beachside cafe. Their conversation was fraught with tension, as Isabella divulged her hesitation to become embroiled in the investigation. She spoke of the trauma that had driven her to this coastal escape, and her fear of returning to the world of psychological darkness. Alex listened attentively, his eyes revealing a deep understanding of her pain. He, too, had his share of secrets and wounds, and in their shared vulnerability, a connection began to form. Isabella was torn between her desire to escape her past and the need to confront the sinister forces at play in Mystic Shores. Their conversation that evening marked a turning point. Isabella had initially hesitated to get involved, fearing the return to her traumatic experiences. But the reluctant psychologist within her awakened, fueled by her curiosity in her newfound connection with Alex. She realized that the only way to find peace was to confront the darkness, to unravel the mysteries of the tarot, and to ensure that no one else would fall victim to the secret society's sinister plans. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows on the beach, Isabella made a decision. She would embrace the call to adventure, confront her own fears, and stand with Alex in the face of the enigmatic forces that threatened Mystic Shores. Her journey into the heart of darkness had begun, and she would need all her knowledge of psychology, mythology, and Jungian symbolism to navigate the treacherous waters ahead. The Hierophant's curse had cast its shadow upon Mystic Shores, and Isabella Reynolds, despite her initial hesitation, had chosen to be its relentless adversary. In the days to come, they would uncover secrets, face their own demons, and perhaps find a way to break the curse that held the town in its grip. Chapter 4. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the pristine sands of Mystic Shores. Dr. Isabella Reynolds, a woman who had seen more darkness in the human mind than most, walked along the beach, her footsteps leaving imprints in the wet sand. She had come to this coastal town to escape the oppressive weight of her past, but as the days passed, she found herself drawn into a web of mysteries that defied her understanding. Isabella had first noticed the peculiar pattern among the town's residents during her daily strolls. A shared unease seemed to hang in the air, as if an invisible hand had a grip on their collective psyche. The locals avoided eye contact and kept to themselves, yet Isabella could sense the undercurrent of fear and distrust that ran through the tight-knit community. One evening, as the moon cast an ethereal glow over the ocean, Isabella noticed a figure ahead. It was a man, barefoot and dressed in a simple linen shirt and shorts, standing at the water's edge. His silhouette was framed by the crashing waves, and there was something about him that intrigued her. He seemed like a part of the beach, as if he belonged to the sea and sand. Isabella approached the enigmatic figure, her curiosity overriding her initial hesitation. As she drew closer, the man turned to regard her with piercing, sea-green eyes that seemed to hold ancient secrets. He had a rugged handsomeness, with wind-swept hair and a tanned complexion that spoke of a life spent outdoors. "Evening," he said in a voice as soothing as the lapping waves. "You're not from around here, are you?" Isabella nodded, her eyes never leaving his. "No, I'm just visiting. My name is Isabella." "Alex," he replied with a smile that hinted at hidden depths. "Alex Turner." The two of them stood there for a moment, a silent understanding passing between them. Isabella could sense that there was more to Alex than met the eye, and it intrigued her. She had spent her life delving into the complexities of the human mind, and here was a man who seemed to have his own share of mysteries. "Isabella," he said, breaking the silence, "I've noticed you've been observing the town and its people. You're a psychiatrist, aren't you?" Isabella was taken aback by his perceptiveness. Yes, I am. How did you? I have a knack for reading people, Alex said cryptically. I've seen you walking along the beach, lost in thought, as if you're searching for something. Isabella couldn't help but feel that he was speaking not just of her observations but of her own inner turmoil. She had come to Mystic Shores to escape the trauma of her past, to find a sense of peace and closure, but the mysteries of the town had pulled her into a new kind of darkness. I can't help it, she confessed. There's something about this place, something that doesn't add up. People are hiding something, and I can't resist the urge to find out what it is. Alex regarded her with a knowing look. Isabella, there are secrets buried here, deeper than the sands of this beach. I've been living in Mystic Shores for a long time, and I've seen things that defy explanation. Isabella felt a chill run down her spine. What kind of things? Alex's gaze turned to the ocean, and for a moment, he seemed lost in thought. There's a secret society in this town, he said finally, his voice low and filled with gravity. They use ancient tarot symbolism to manipulate and control the minds of the residents. Isabella's eyes widened in disbelief. That's impossible. Tarot cards are just symbols, a form of divination. They can't control people's minds. Alex turned to her, his expression dead serious. I used to think the same, but I've seen it happen. People change, Isabella. They become pawns in a game they don't even know they're playing. As the waves continued to crash against the shore, Isabella found herself torn between skepticism and an inexplicable sense of unease. The world she thought she understood had taken a strange and disconcerting turn. Alex stepped closer, his eyes locked onto hers. I think you, with your background in psychology, might be the key to unraveling this mystery. The town needs someone who can see through the manipulation, and I believe you're that someone. Isabella's heart raced, her mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. She had come to Mystic Shores seeking solace, but now, she was faced with a choice, to turn away from the darkness that lurked in the shadows or to confront it head-on. I don't know, she finally admitted, her voice trembling. It sounds dangerous. Alex nodded, understanding the weight of her decision. It is dangerous, Isabella. But sometimes, the only way to find the light is to venture into the darkest corners. I'll be here to guide you, to help you navigate this treacherous path. Together, we can uncover the truth and put an end to the society's sinister influence. Isabella looked into his eyes, her fear mingling with a growing determination. In that moment, she realized that there was more to this enigmatic beachcomber than met the eye, and she was about to embark on a journey that would challenge her understanding of the human mind, the power of ancient symbolism, and the depths of her own courage. As the moon continued its silent vigil over the beach, Isabella made her choice. She would use her psychological expertise to uncover the secrets of Mystic Shores, with Alex as her guide into the heart of darkness. Together, they would confront the mysteries that lay hidden beneath the surface, and in doing so, they would forge a bond that transcended the ordinary and ventured into the realm of the extraordinary. Chapter 5. The sun hung low on the horizon, casting a warm, golden hue over the tranquil beach town of Mystic Shores. Its picturesque beauty was a stark contrast to the horrors that had plagued the town for so long. The society that had practiced sinister psychological manipulation rooted in ancient tarot symbolism had finally been dismantled, and the weight of its malevolent influence lifted. The townsfolk, once ensnared by the cruel machinations of the Hierophant, now breathed freely, their minds no longer shackled by fear. Dr. Isabella Reynolds and Alex Turner stood hand in hand at the edge of the shoreline, feeling the gentle caress of the salt-scented breeze. The ocean's rhythmic waves whispered tales of endless possibilities and a future free from the shadows that had plagued their lives. Their bond, forged through shared adversity and love, had deepened into an unbreakable connection. Isabella gazed out at the horizon, the sun's dying embers reflecting in her eyes. Her mind drifted to the days when she first arrived in Mystic Shores, seeking solace from her traumatic past. She had been a skeptic, a woman of science, but the inexplicable events in the town had shattered her beliefs and forced her to confront the existence of forces beyond her understanding. Alex, the enigmatic beachcomber who had become her mentor, guide, and love, stood beside her, his eyes filled with a mixture of contentment and gratitude. His presence in her life had been like a lighthouse guiding her through the darkest of storms. "Isabella," he whispered, his voice soft and filled with affection, "we've come a long way, haven't we?" She turned to him, her gaze locking with his. "Yes, we have," she replied, her voice tinged with emotion. "I never imagined when I first arrived in Mystic Shores that I'd be standing here with you, free from the curse that once gripped this town." Alex squeezed her hand gently. "We faced our own demons, both external and internal. We conquered the Hierophant's curse and our own fears. We found strength in each other, and in love." The beach around them was tranquil, the sand cool beneath their feet. Families played in the distance, children building sandcastles and laughter filling the air. The once tormented residents of Mystic Shores now reveled in the simple joys of life, as if they had emerged from a long and harrowing nightmare. Isabella and Alex strolled along the shore, leaving behind footprints that would soon be erased by the tide. They shared stories of their past, their hopes, and their dreams, bearing their souls in the glow of the setting sun. Isabella spoke of her childhood, of her struggles as a psychiatrist, and of the traumatic event that had led her to Mystic Shores. Alex, in turn, revealed his own enigmatic past. He had always been drawn to the sea, to the mysteries it held. His knowledge of the beach town's secrets had been more than mere coincidence, it was a destiny intertwined with the very fabric of Mystic Shores. As the day transitioned into twilight, they found themselves seated on a weathered driftwood log, their fingers entwined. The sky was painted in hues of orange and pink, a masterpiece of nature's design. Isabella rested her head on Alex's shoulder, and he wrapped his arm around her, holding her close. "It's hard to believe that the Hierophant's curse is truly gone," Isabella murmured, her gaze fixed on the distant horizon. "All those people, living their lives under its malevolent influence, it's a relief to know they are free." Alex nodded. "But it wasn't just about breaking the curse that bound this town. It was about breaking the curses that bound us. You faced your traumatic past, and I faced my own inner demons. We both found redemption here." The ocean waves continued their eternal dance, a soothing backdrop to their conversation. Isabella's eyes shimmered with unshed tears as she turned to Alex. "I couldn't have done it without you, Alex. You were my mentor, my guide, and my anchor. You taught me to embrace the unknown, to see the beauty in the mysteries of life." He smiled tenderly. "And you, Isabella, showed me the power of resilience and the strength of the human spirit. You faced your fears head-on and emerged stronger." In that moment, they shared a deep and profound connection, a bond forged in the crucible of their shared journey. The beach town of Mystic Shores had witnessed their transformation, and now, it was a witness to their love. As darkness descended, and the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Isabella and Alex stood up from their driftwood perch. They walked back to their quaint beachfront cottage, hand in hand, ready to embrace the new chapter of their lives. Inside, the soft glow of candlelight illuminated their sanctuary. They closed the door, leaving the world outside, with all its mysteries and fears, behind. In each other's arms, they found solace and love, a beacon in the darkest of nights. The horrors of the past were but a distant memory, and the promise of a future filled with love and endless possibilities lay before them. As they embraced, their hearts beat in perfect harmony, a rhythm that spoke of love's triumph over fear, of hope reborn, and of a bond unbreakable. The picturesque beach town of Mystic Shores had been their crucible, and they had emerged from it, stronger and more deeply in love than ever before. Chapter 6. The moon hung low in the sky, casting a silvery glow over mystic shores. Isabella and Alex stood on the beach, a brisk sea breeze ruffling their hair. The waves whispered secrets to the shore, while the tarot cards scattered in the sand seemed to shimmer with hidden power. Their romance had blossomed amidst the chaos and darkness that had gripped the coastal town. Now, united in their determination, they prepared to confront the sinister leader of the secret society, the enigmatic figure known as the Hierophant. Isabella's eyes, usually filled with a deep empathy for her patients, now burned with resolve. Her knowledge of psychology and the symbolism of the tarot had led them to this pivotal moment. Alex, once a lone beachcomber seeking solitude, had found a purpose in their shared quest. "Are you sure about this, Isabella?" Alex asked, his voice a mixture of concern and determination. She nodded, her gaze unwavering. "We can't let the Hierophant continue. The tarot's power is too dangerous in their hands. We need to end this, for the town and for everyone they've manipulated." They had prepared for this night. In a leather satchel, Isabella carried a collection of tarot cards, each one representing an archetype with its own unique psychological significance. Alex clutched a small vial of salt, a potent symbol of purification and protection. The town was eerily silent, as if it held its breath in anticipation of their confrontation. The moonlit path led them to a decrepit building at the heart of Mystic Shores, a place where the society had conducted their sinister rituals. With a deep breath, Isabella pushed open the creaking door, revealing a room bathed in the dim glow of candlelight. At the center of the room, the Hierophant stood, draped in robes adorned with tarot symbols. Their face concealed beneath a mask carved with enigmatic symbols, the Hierophant exuded an aura of mystique and menace. "We've been waiting for you," the Hierophant's voice was a haunting whisper, like the rustling of leaves in a desolate forest. "It seems you couldn't resist the call of the tarot." Isabella stepped forward, her voice steady. "Your manipulation ends here. We know the power of the tarot, and we won't let you use it for your sinister purposes any longer." Alex held the vial of salt in his hand, ready to create a protective barrier. The Hierophant's eyes glinted behind the mask, and with a gesture, they summoned a tarot deck to hover in the air, each card a portal to a different realm of the psyche. "The tarot is a reflection of the human soul," the Hierophant intoned, their voice echoing through the room. "It is a tool to unlock the hidden depths of the mind, to reveal the darkest fears and desires. It is power, and power is control." Isabella and Alex exchanged a knowing glance. They had anticipated the Hierophant's ability to manipulate the tarot, but they were prepared to challenge the Hierophant's control. With a swift motion, the Hierophant drew a card from the hovering deck. It was the Devil, a symbol of bondage and enslavement. As they placed it on the table, the room seemed to darken, and Isabella felt a creeping sense of dread. "We are the puppeteers of the human soul," the Hierophant proclaimed. "And we hold the strings to your deepest fears." Isabella concentrated on her knowledge of psychology. She recalled the principles of confronting one's fears, of embracing the shadow self to break free from its control. With a steely resolve, she drew a card from her own deck, the Strength card. The image of a woman taming a fierce lion shone with a radiant light. Isabella held it aloft, and a powerful wave of courage and inner strength swept over her. "I face my fears," she declared, her voice unwavering. "I embrace the shadows within and find strength in their acceptance." The Hierophant's mask seemed to tremble, and the room quaked with a seismic force. The Devil card disintegrated, its malevolent influence shattered by Isabella's courage. Alex, too, reached into the depths of his understanding. He drew the Hermit card, a symbol of introspection and self-discovery. As he held it aloft, a gentle illumination spread through the room, dispelling the Hierophant's shadows. "We find our own path," Alex said, his voice a soothing resonance. And in the solitude of self-discovery, we free ourselves from your influence. The Hierophant staggered back, their mask slipping to the floor. Beneath it, their face was one of desperation and vulnerability, stripped of the enigmatic facade. With a final, desperate cry, the Hierophant summoned a torrent of tarot cards, but Isabella and Alex were prepared. They activated the tarot cards in their possession, drawing on their knowledge and the symbolism they represented. The cards formed a barrier of protection, shielding them from the Hierophant's onslaught. As the tarot cards swirled around them, Isabella and Alex advanced. With each step, they confronted the Hierophant's psychological manipulation, breaking the chains that bound them. The Hierophant's powers waned, and their control crumbled. In a climactic moment, the Hierophant's mask shattered, revealing a face etched with despair and defeat. They fell to their knees, no longer a symbol of menace but a broken individual ensnared by their own desires for power. Isabella and Alex had prevailed. The Hierophant's curse was broken, and the town of Mystic Shores was freed from their psychological manipulation. As the sun began to rise over the tranquil ocean, Isabella and Alex stood at the water's edge, tarot cards in hand. Their love and understanding had triumphed over the darkness that had plagued the town. The tarot cards they held were no longer instruments of manipulation but tools for self-discovery and growth. As the first rays of dawn bathed the beach in golden light, Isabella and Alex turned to each other, their hearts filled with hope and a shared future where their love would continue to blossom under the sun and stars, unburdened by the shadows of the past. Chapter 7. Isabella and Alex stood at the entrance of a dimly lit underground chamber beneath the heart of Mystic Shores. The air was thick with tension, and the flickering torches cast eerie shadows on the walls adorned with arcane tarot symbols. This was the Hierophant's lair, the culmination of their harrowing journey. As they ventured further into the chamber, the walls seemed to close in on them, each step echoing their unease. Isabella's heart raced, her psychological training barely sufficient to prepare her for the horrors they were about to face. The sound of a distant organ playing a haunting melody filled the air, sending shivers down her spine. Alex squeezed her hand, his eyes locking onto hers with unwavering determination. His presence was reassuring, a constant reminder of the love they shared and the strength that had brought them here. They reached the chamber's center, and there, illuminated by an eerie, flickering candlelight, stood the Hierophant, a cloaked figure whose face was hidden in the shadows. In their hands, the Hierophant held a massive tarot card, the symbol of the lovers, the very card that had drawn Isabella and Alex together. The Hierophant's voice echoed through the chamber, sending chills down their spines. "Welcome, dear guests," it said, the words dripping with malevolence. "You have come to challenge the power of the tarot, to defy the ancient knowledge it holds." Isabella felt a strange sensation, as though the very air around her was shifting, and her own thoughts and fears were being amplified by some unseen force. She clutched her head, struggling to maintain her composure. "What do you want?" Isabella demanded, her voice quivering but determined. The Hierophant stepped into the light, revealing a sinister grin on their lips. "We want to free the human mind from the shackles of ignorance and uncertainty. The tarot is the key to understanding the deepest recesses of the human psyche. It can reveal truths that you dare not acknowledge." As the Hierophant spoke, the tarot card in their hand began to glow with an otherworldly light, and Isabella and Alex felt a wave of emotions wash over them. Love, fear, desire, and despair coursed through their veins, as if their very souls were being bared. Isabella and Alex locked eyes, the connection between them stronger than ever. They both knew that they had to resist the overwhelming psychological assault the Hierophant was subjecting them to. With a deep breath, Isabella reached out to Alex through their psychic connection, invoking their love and shared understanding. Their bond became a shield against the Hierophant's psychic onslaught. Isabella could see the Hierophant's frustration, their powers waning in the face of their unwavering love. Alex, too, focused his mind and tapped into his knowledge of psychology, recognizing the Hierophant's manipulation and countering it with his own mental fortitude. The Hierophant's grin twisted into a scowl as they realized their powers were ineffective against this united front. They hurled the glowing tarot card toward Isabella and Alex, intending to incapacitate them and bend their wills to its whims. But love and determination prevailed, and with a combined effort, Isabella and Alex deflected the card's power, sending it crashing against the stone walls. A furious gust of wind filled the chamber, extinguishing the torches and plunging everything into darkness. Isabella and Alex held each other, their connection stronger than ever. In the darkness, they could hear the Hierophant's enraged whispers and the shuffling of their retreating footsteps. "We've done it," Isabella whispered, her voice trembling with exhaustion and relief. "We've thwarted the Hierophant." Alex nodded, his arms wrapped around her. "Love and our understanding of the human mind were our greatest weapons. We've proven that darkness can be conquered by the light within us." As the torches reignited, they could see the Hierophant's tarot card shattered on the ground, a symbol of their defeat. The Hierophant was gone, their sinister plans foiled. The couple stood hand in hand in the now quiet chamber. Isabella's heart swelled with love for Alex, and she knew that their bond was unbreakable. They had faced the darkest depths of the human psyche and emerged victorious. With a deep breath, they left the underground chamber, the horrors of the Hierophant's curse behind them. As they ascended to the surface, the sun's warm rays greeted them, and they knew that Mystic Shores was finally free from the malevolent influence of the secret society. Their love, psychological insights, and bravery had not only saved the town but also strengthened their connection, providing a solid foundation for the new life they would build together. Chapter 8. Dr. Isabella Reynolds stood on the quiet beach of Mystic Shores, her toes sinking into the soft, cool sand. The crimson sunset painted the sky in hues of gold and crimson, casting a warm, comforting glow over the picturesque coastal town. The sea whispered secrets to the shore, its rhythmic waves a soothing lullaby. She turned to her side, where Alex Turner stood, his eyes reflecting the colors of the sky. The events of the past weeks seemed like distant nightmares, and the two of them had emerged from the darkness into the embrace of this tranquil haven. The dismantling of the secret society had been no small feat, but together, they had exposed the sinister web of tarot symbolism and psychological manipulation that had plagued Mystic Shores. Isabella's psychological insights and Alex's unwavering determination had been their greatest weapons, ultimately leading to their triumph. As the last of the society members were taken away by law enforcement, the town's residents began to awaken from the psychological fog that had clouded their minds for so long. Families reunited, and a sense of clarity and freedom settled over Mystic Shores. The weight of the curse, once suffocating, had lifted, allowing the town to breathe and heal. Isabella turned her gaze back to the ocean, feeling the gentle breeze on her face. She had come to Mystic Shores seeking solace and escape, but she had found something more profound here. She had found a connection with Alex, an understanding of herself, and a renewed sense of purpose. "I never imagined that a beach town would hold the key to healing," she murmured, her voice barely more than a whisper. Alex glanced at her, his eyes holding a depth of understanding that mirrored her own. "Sometimes, the most unexpected places have the power to change our lives," he said, his voice filled with a sense of wonder. Isabella smiled, a genuine, heartwarming smile that had been absent from her life for far too long. "You're right," she replied, "and you've been a guiding light in this unexpected journey." Their hands found each other, fingers intertwining as they continued to watch the sun dip below the horizon. It was a subtle gesture, but it held a profound meaning, a silent acknowledgement of the bond that had grown between them through adversity. With the dismantling of the society, Alex had remained by Isabella's side, and their relationship had evolved from a partnership of necessity to a love that transcended the darkness they had faced. Together, they had shared moments of fear, bravery, and, ultimately, victory. Their connection had deepened, becoming a source of strength and solace. The beach, once a place of intrigue and danger, now symbolized their newfound freedom and the love they had discovered. As the stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, Isabella and Alex walked along the shore, leaving their footprints in the sand, a testament to their presence and the transformative power of their journey. They settled on a large piece of driftwood that had washed ashore, the salt weathered wood cool beneath their palms. Isabella rested her head on Alex's shoulder, finding comfort in his presence. The scent of the ocean and the gentle sound of the waves provided a soothing backdrop to their thoughts. "Isabella," Alex began, breaking the tranquil silence, "I never thought I'd meet someone like you. Your strength, your intelligence, and your compassion, everything about you is remarkable." Isabella looked up at him, her eyes meeting his with a mix of gratitude and affection. "And you, Alex, you're a true hero. You helped me confront my past, and you stood by me when I needed you the most." They leaned in, their lips meeting in a soft, tender kiss. It was a kiss that spoke of everything they had shared, the trials they had faced, and the love that had blossomed in the face of darkness. In that moment, time seemed to stand still, and all the horrors they had witnessed faded into the background. Their love story, born in the crucible of adversity, had taken root in mystic shores. It was a love that had transcended their personal fears and scars, blossoming in the most unexpected of places. Isabella and Alex's connection was a testament to the power of human resilience and the healing forces of love. As they broke the kiss and turned their gazes back to the ocean, the night sky seemed to stretch out infinitely before them. A sense of serenity settled over the beach, and the world felt full of promise. Isabella and Alex knew that their journey wasn't over, but they were ready to face the future together, hand in hand. With each wave that kissed the shore and each whisper of the sea, they found solace in the embrace of mystic shores, a place that had been both the setting of their greatest trials and the sanctuary where their love had bloomed. The horrors of the past had been left behind, replaced by the promise of a new beginning in a future filled with the warmth of love and the gentle caress of the sea. Chapter 9. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a tapestry of fiery hues across the tranquil ocean, as Isabella and Alex found themselves seated on the same stretch of sandy shore where their harrowing journey had begun. Tarot cards were scattered around them, like remnants of a battle long fought and won. The air was still, the waves whispered their secrets, and the world seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting to exhale the sorrows that had once plagued mystic shores. Isabella's fingers delicately traced the edges of a tarot card, the Hierophant, that lay half buried in the sand. It was a stark reminder of the dark path they had walked, the malevolent figure they had faced, and the sinister secrets they had unraveled. With her deep understanding of psychology and the symbolism of the tarot, she had been the guiding light that led them out of the labyrinth of madness. Alex, his hand interlaced with Isabella's, gazed at the horizon, his eyes shimmering with a mixture of awe and contentment. The turbulent tides of their shared ordeal had brought them closer, forged their bond with an unbreakable strength, and now they sat in a sanctuary of peace that only those who had ventured into the abyss could truly appreciate. "Isabella," Alex whispered, his voice as soft as the gentlest breeze, "we've seen the darkest depths of the human psyche, and we've emerged into this breathtaking serenity. It's as though the universe is rewarding us for our resilience." Isabella turned to meet his gaze, her eyes reflecting the colors of the twilight sky. "We were instrumental in breaking the Hierophant's curse, but it wasn't just our knowledge and abilities that brought us through. It was our connection, our love, that allowed us to conquer the darkest of fears and come out the other side." As they spoke, the tarot cards around them seemed to resonate, each card an emblem of the challenges they had faced, the fears they had confronted, and the wisdom they had gained. The Hierophant card, in particular, now felt like a mere relic of the past, no longer a symbol of oppression but a testament to their strength. Alex's thumb caressed the back of Isabella's hand, and a quiet, profound understanding passed between them. Isabella, I've learned more about myself and the depths of my own character through this journey than I could ever have imagined. But it was you who truly illuminated my path. You were the Hierophant that guided me, not into darkness, but into the light. Isabella's smile was filled with warmth and affection. Alex, you've shown me that love and courage can conquer even the most formidable of foes. Together, we are a force to be reckoned with. They rose from their spots on the shore, the tarot cards still whispering in the soft breeze. Hand in hand, they strolled along the water's edge, their footprints etching a new chapter in the sand. The town of Mystic Shores, once shrouded in darkness, now seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The townspeople, freed from the oppressive influence of the secret society, found a renewed sense of community and purpose. The curse had been broken, and the townsfolk's lives were returning to normal. Isabella and Alex had not only saved each other but had also been instrumental in saving the town. With their minds unburdened by the immediate threat of the Hierophant's curse, Isabella and Alex decided to make Mystic Shores their home. The coastal town had transformed from a place of despair into a sanctuary of peace, a place where their love could flourish in the idyllic surroundings. Over the coming weeks and months, they worked together to help the residents heal from the scars of psychological manipulation. Isabella provided counseling and support to those who needed it, using her psychological expertise to guide them towards recovery. Alex, with his boundless empathy, became a pillar of strength for the community, bringing people together and fostering a sense of unity and resilience. As their love deepened, Isabella and Alex found a profound sense of fulfillment in their work and in each other. The town's once estranged residents now shared a collective gratitude for their two saviors, who had not only freed them from the Hierophant's curse but had also given them a newfound sense of hope. One evening, Isabella and Alex stood on the balcony of their cozy beachfront home, the sun setting in a blaze of colors over the ocean. They watched as the waves rhythmically kissed the shore, a reminder of the ever-present ebb and flow of life. Alex wrapped his arms around Isabella, his lips gently touching her ear as he whispered, "Our love, Isabella, it's like the tide, unceasing, powerful, and eternal." Isabella leaned into his embrace, her heart resonating with his words. And just as the tides wash away the footprints on the shore, our love washes away the scars of our past, leaving behind a clean slate and a brighter future. In the embrace of the fading light and the gentle lull of the ocean, Isabella and Alex found solace and a renewed sense of purpose in Mystic Shores. Their love had not only conquered the darkness of the Hierophant's curse but had also breathed new life into a once doomed town. As they stood together, they knew that their journey had led them to a place of profound peace, love, and the promise of a brighter future, and that their story was far from over. Chapter 10. The sun descended towards the horizon, casting its final fiery rays over the tranquil ocean. The sky transformed into a canvas painted with shades of crimson, amber, and indigo. Seated on the soft, powdery sand, Isabella and Alex gazed at the horizon, their eyes reflecting the colors of the setting sun, while tarot cards were scattered around them like forgotten relics. As the cool ocean breeze ruffled their hair and carried the distant cries of seagulls, Isabella's fingers brushed lightly against a tarot card. It was the Hierophant card, the very symbol that had plunged them into the depths of a psychological nightmare, threatening to tear their love asunder. She looked at it with a mixture of awe and reverence, her fingers trembling slightly. Alex, his eyes filled with tenderness, turned to her and said, "We've come a long way, haven't we?" Isabella nodded, a faint smile gracing her lips. "Indeed. From the ordinary world to this, our own version of a hero's journey." The words, "ordinary world," hung heavy in the air, resonating with the memories of their past lives, which now seemed a lifetime away. Isabella's life had been scarred by the trauma of her profession, while Alex had carried his own share of pain and isolation. In the darkest depths of mystic shores, they'd found each other, drawn together by fate, love, and the need to unravel the mysteries that surrounded them. The tower card lay askew in the sand, its lightning-struck tower mirroring the upheaval they'd faced. Isabella picked it up, her thumb tracing the jagged lines and chaotic swirls of the illustration. This card, it was us when we first met. Our worlds were in chaos, like this tower. Alex nodded, his eyes never leaving hers. But like the tower card, sometimes destruction is necessary for a new beginning. It's what allows us to rebuild, stronger and wiser than before. Isabella turned to him, her heart swelling with love. She could feel the profound changes in herself, and the strength she discovered in their shared journey. You've been my anchor, Alex. You've shown me that even in the midst of chaos, there's a chance for renewal and transformation. As she spoke, she reached for the lover's card, its symbolism resonating deeply within her. Their love had been tested, challenged, and ultimately strengthened by the trials they'd faced. It was a love that transcended the darkness of the Hierophant's curse, a love that had blossomed in the heart of the storm. The Ace of Cups, a card symbolizing new beginnings and emotional fulfillment, lay before them. Isabella touched it, her fingers tracing the overflowing chalice. This is us now, isn't it? A fresh start, overflowing with love and gratitude. Alex leaned in, his lips brushing against her forehead. Yes, my love. This is our fresh start, a new beginning, full of love and gratitude for the journey we've walked together. They sat in silence for a moment, simply enjoying the beauty of the sunset in the company of one another. The ocean whispered secrets of ages past, and the tarot cards, once symbols of dread, had transformed into tokens of reflection and growth. As the sun's last rays dipped beneath the horizon, the stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky. Isabella leaned into Alex's embrace, feeling the warmth of his body in the reassuring beat of his heart. The gentle lullaby of the waves washed over them, cradling them in a cocoon of serenity. Their intertwined fingers rested upon the tarot cards, binding them to the memories of their journey, a journey that had led them to this moment of peace and understanding. Isabella closed her eyes, her heart brimming with gratitude for the love they'd found and the strength they'd discovered within themselves. In that tranquil moment on the beach, Isabella and Alex realized that the Hierophant's curse, as terrifying as it had also been a catalyst for their transformation. It had torn apart their ordinary worlds and rebuilt them into something extraordinary. With their shared past now symbolized by the scattered tarot cards and the future stretching out before them, they knew that their love was a force that could conquer even the darkest of mysteries. As the night enveloped them in its embrace, they shared a whispered promise to embrace the new beginning, grateful for the profound understanding they'd found in one another. The stars above, countless and eternal, seemed to bless their union, a testament to the enduring power of love in the face of the unknown. And as the tarot cards lay scattered beneath the infinite sky, Isabella and Alex's journey continued, guided by their newfound understanding and the strength of their love. Chapter 11. The beach at Mystic Shores stretched before them, its golden sands kissed by the gentle caress of the setting sun. Isabella and Alex sat side by side, gazing out at the vast expanse of the ocean, its waves whispering secrets of the deep. The tarot cards, remnants of their harrowing journey, lay scattered at their feet like the faded remnants of a surreal dream. The air was thick with the scent of salt, and the distant cries of seagulls painted a peaceful backdrop to the quiet moment they shared. The weight of the world seemed to have lifted from their shoulders, replaced by a profound sense of relief and freedom. Isabella's fingers traced the edge of a tarot card, her eyes fixed on the Hierophant card, the symbol of the secret society's malevolent power. "It's over, Alex," she whispered, her voice barely more than a breath on the breeze. "We did it. We stopped them." Alex turned to her, his eyes reflecting the colors of the setting sun. "Yes, we did. We found the strength within ourselves and our love to overcome the darkness." The Hierophant's curse is broken, and Mystic Shores is free. Isabella sighed, her heart swelling with a mix of emotions. I never thought I'd find a love like this, Alex. In the darkest of times, you became my guiding star. You showed me the way to confront my past and the horrors that haunted me. Alex took her hand in his touch warm and reassuring. And you, Isabella, you helped me find my own strength. You were the light that banished the shadows from my heart. Together, we're unstoppable. The two lovers shared a tender kiss, sealing their shared victory and the profound bond they had forged during their harrowing journey. As their lips met, the world around them seemed to blur, and for a moment, they were suspended in time, lost in the sweetness of their affection. When they parted, Isabella's eyes sparkled with unshed tears. I used to fear the darkness, Alex, but now I understand that it's a part of us, a part of our shared journey. We can't escape it, but we can learn to face it with courage and love. Alex nodded, his gaze filled with understanding. The Hierophant's curse tried to tear us apart, to manipulate our minds and hearts. But it couldn't break us, Isabella. Love and understanding triumphed over fear and manipulation. Isabella picked up another tarot card, the Lovers, and held it up to the fading light. It's like the cards themselves guided us through this ordeal, as if they were a mirror to our souls. The Lovers card represents choices, unity, and love. We chose each other, and together, we united to confront the darkness. With a smile, Alex plucked a seashell from the sand and handed it to Isabella. And this seashell, a symbol of the ocean's beauty in the treasures hidden within, is our own talisman. A reminder of the love and strength we discovered in Mystic Shores. As they held their symbolic treasures, they watched the sun dip below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. The world grew darker, and the first stars began to twinkle above, like distant beacons of hope. Isabella and Alex knew that their journey wasn't over, but they were ready to embrace the future, free from the shadows of their past. The love they had found in each other would be their guiding star, their source of strength in the face of any challenges that lay ahead. With a sense of hope that transcended the physical world, they knew that they were on the cusp of a new beginning. Their shared victory over the Hierophant's curse had marked the end of one chapter in their lives and the start of another, filled with the promise of love, understanding, and the boundless possibilities that the future held. As they sat on the beach, hand in hand, they whispered words of love and gratitude to the sea, trusting that their journey had only just begun, and the brightest days were yet to come. Isabella and Alex had learned that, even in the face of darkness, love and understanding had the power to conquer all, and their love story would continue to unfold, written in the stars and carried by the tides of Mystic Shores. Chapter 12. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the sandy beach, Isabella and Alex found themselves seated side by side. The gentle waves kissed the shore, their soft, rhythmic sound the only accompaniment to their thoughts. The tarot cards, once symbols of fear and manipulation, were now scattered haphazardly in the sand, powerless and unthreatening. Isabella let out a contented sigh, her hand finding its way into Alex's. The cool breeze tousled her hair as she turned to him, her eyes reflecting the colors of the setting sun. "It's finally over, isn't it?" she whispered, her voice barely more than a breath. Alex nodded, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "Yes, it is. We did it, together." Their journey had been nothing short of a harrowing odyssey through the darkest recesses of human nature. They had faced not only the external horrors of the secret society but their own inner demons as well. Through it all, their love had served as an unwavering beacon of hope and strength. Isabella's fingers traced the outline of the Hierophant card, the one that had once embodied their greatest fears. "I can't believe how different this card feels now. It's just a piece of paper, after all." Alex chuckled softly, a warm and reassuring sound. Symbols only have the power we give them. In the end, it's our understanding and our choices that truly matter. A sense of peace settled over them, a peace born from the knowledge that they had triumphed over darkness. The traumatic memories of their past were gradually losing their grip on them, fading into the background like a distant storm. They continued to sit in silence, watching as the sun completed its descent, leaving a canvas of purples and oranges in the sky. The salty breeze carried a hint of promise, of new beginnings. Isabella felt Alex's fingers intertwine with hers, the gesture a silent affirmation of their shared journey. As nightfall approached, the couple decided to return to their quaint beachfront cottage. Inside, the soft glow of candles filled the room with a warm, inviting ambience. The scent of a homemade meal wafted from the kitchen, where they had prepared a feast to celebrate their newfound freedom. They sat down to dine, their plates adorned with the freshest seafood, fruits, and vegetables. Their laughter and conversation flowed freely, as if the weight of the world had been lifted from their shoulders. "Remember when we first met on that beach?" Isabella asked, her eyes twinkling with fond memories. Alex grinned, a trace of that initial enigmatic charm still present. "Of course, how could I forget? You were so determined to solve the mystery of mystic shores, and I was just a humble beachcomber." Their romance had ignited in the midst of adversity, their shared quest to unveil the secrets of the town forging a connection that transcended the ordinary. It was a love story born from the depths of psychological challenges and symbolic nightmares. As their meal concluded, Isabella's eyes fell upon a tarot deck resting on the nearby shelf. She hesitated for a moment, contemplating whether to leave the past behind or confront it one final time. In the end, her determination won, and she reached for the deck. With practiced ease, she shuffled the cards, her fingers moving with a confidence that hadn't existed before. She spread the deck out, inviting Alex to choose a card. He hesitated for a moment, then drew a card and turned it over. The Lovers. It was a card that held deep meaning for them, symbolizing their connection and the choices they had made together. Isabella smiled, her eyes sparkling with affection. The Lovers. It seems fitting, doesn't it? Alex nodded, a gentle smile gracing his lips. It does. It's a reminder of the choices we made, to confront our fears, to embrace love, and to triumph over darkness. With the Lover's card as a silent witness, they embraced, their love a testament to the power of human resilience and the capacity to transform even the darkest of circumstances into a heartwarming resolution. The night wore on, and as the moon cast a silvery glow on the beach, Isabella and Alex stood on the shoreline, the waves washing over their feet. They watched the stars above, knowing that they were no longer bound by the past. In each other's arms, they found a sense of closure and completion, a profound and heartwarming resolution to their journey. The darkness that had once threatened to consume them had been vanquished, replaced by a love that was unbreakable and a future that was boundless. As the world embraced the new day, Isabella and Alex walked hand in hand, ready to face whatever lay ahead, their hearts full of hope, their minds free of the Hierophant's curse.